Hey everyone, I wanted to talk today about this planner. This is the Fleurir Lab planner. This was pretty unknown to me before 2021. That's when I learned about this planner from April at Penguins Creative. This is my Hobonichi weeks. This is what I use for planning. This is my kind of ride or die planner. And I'm using the Fleurir Lab as a supplement to the weeks. It gives me a more detailed outlook of my daily tasks. So this is an A6 size, and I just want to get into what this planner is because I hesitate to talk about this because I just don't know if she's coming out with this planner again for 2023. These are some zines that I got from Patreon from Erin Ware, and I love her artwork, so I just kind of tuck them in to this clear A6 Midori clear cover that happens to fit this planner. So Fleurir Lab has the most gorgeous planners that I have ever seen. This is foiled and it has a gorgeous exposed spine, and I think her themes every year are just gorgeous. I will put the link to the shop below. I had to download Google Chrome in order to have it translated because this is a Taiwanese planner. There's very little English in here, but if you're familiar with Hobonichi, there's enough English in here to make it functional as a planner. So I'll do a really quick walkthrough of this, and let me zoom you in. Okay, so one thing about this planner is that everything is written really, really light. The ink is really, really light on here, and while I don't like really dark and intrusive lines on my paper or grids or whatever, I don't particularly love it to be this light because it can be really hard to see depending on what you're doing with it. So there is an index at the front and this preface spread. You can see everything that's on there. Obviously, I don't utilize any of these front pages. You have 2022 and 2023 at a glance. And then you have the whole year, January to December. And then it goes into this Gantt chart for every single month. And then once you get to the actual planner part, the months are not grouped together at the front of this planner. They're actually spread throughout the book. They come before each month or each week as they occur throughout the planner. So you get this header page. The illustration up here changes every single month. Then you get the whole month spread, and then it leads into the week. So the way that this particular planner is laid out is that you get 2 pages a day and it is split horizontally. So she changes the way the layouts are every year. Sometimes they're the same. I think the year before this, the A6 layout was a day per page. I feel like you never really know what the layout's gonna be until she releases it. But she does usually have an A6 and a B6 size. I do have the B6, which I will show you. So the beginning of a week looks like this, where this top portion is just blank, and then you get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you get a week across 4 pages. And this layout has been working so perfectly for what I'm needing right now to make a daily task list. So let me show you an example of how I'm using this. This is Tomoe River paper. It's the 68 GSM and it's cream. And every single page is numbered, which is kind of nice. So this comes with a pencil board, which is so beautiful. She always has very calming, relaxing themes. There's the whole year on the other side of this. There is some like watercolor imagery behind these calendars, so It's always gorgeous. And then of course the top says today on both sides. So let's just turn to my first entry here. So here's August, slightly different imagery there. The month, I'm not using the month, I'm strictly just using these daily sections here. So this is the first week I started using it. So for the blank space at the top of the week, I'm using this as my running to-do list for this week. So things I want to accomplish during the week, I just don't know which day I want to do it in. So here's my Hobonichi weeks. This is what I use as my everything planner. This is the current week, and I have a task section. And what I do is I basically transfer what's here to the top of the week here. And this is really the only thing that's duplicated between these two. I cannot be duplicating lots of information. That really dictates if a planner or a journal is gonna work for me. It depends on how much duplicating I have to do, and so it cannot be a lot. So I transfer this over to here, and this is for this current week. So I do add a bit more detail when I put it in the Fleurir Lab, just because there is space for that. And the whole reason I want to use this is so I can be more specific and more detailed about the things that I want to accomplish. So everything else in my Hobonichi weeks is pretty exclusive to this planner. I did consider maybe switching from the weeks into something more like this, and it just cannot happen because I really 100% need all the notes pages in the back. And the things that I'm including in here, like my menu, a shopping list, and just the way I have this structured, there's not a space for that in here that I feel gives me a good flow. So I need this, and I will always have this because it just is such an overview of my entire life. And this is a supplementary thing, and sometimes I don't use it if I don't want to plan out a day with all this detail. I skip it. Weekends are usually blank, which I'll show you. So this is just nice to use when I need it, and if I don't need it, it doesn't really damage anything. It's not the end of the world, and I can plan my life without it. So the way that I do it is I have kind of a separation between morning and day tasks and then evening tasks. Much of this stuff is repetitive, but things have been getting a little crazier around here, especially since we started back with homeschooling, and I just really wanted to make sure I was getting everything done that I need to get done. So all of my homemaking responsibilities, I could sense those kind of falling by the wayside as my kids started getting into some activities and our homeschooling schedule started getting a bit more rigorous. So I knew I had this planner, and I have not used it at all year up until this point. And so I knew I had this, so I decided to incorporate it, and it is so fantastic. I get so much pleasure crossing out things every day. As you can see, Friday, we had like a wrench thrown in our usual routine, so I just didn't get around to it that day. Saturday and Sunday, didn't need to plan anything. Got back on it for this week, and a little less busy. Today looks really busy, but yeah, and I haven't crossed off anything because I'm still working on it. But anyway, this has been such a helpful thing that I've incorporated, and it doesn't demand a lot out of me. And because I don't know if she's coming out with this same layout or a planner at all next year, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the take a note in the A6, as long as this continues in the next several weeks to be working out as well as it has. Basically, the take a note gives me the same amount of space. It's just it's 2 days on a page, except they're divided vertically, and it's still going to give me the same amount of space. And then there is a full weekly section on the left side of the take a note, which it pretty much mimics this empty space. So I'm thinking it's giving me the same sort of layout. So I think that's the planner that's going to work the best for me if I want to keep incorporating this into the new year. So this planner is laid out exactly the same all the way through. And then let's see, when you get to the very, very last week, I love when these planners say to be continued. Midori does that like in all their planners, and it's the cutest thing. So you get a to be continued page, several sheets of the blank. It's just grid paper. I think there's like 20 something pages back here. This is not enough for me to use as notes pages like in the back of the Hobonichi Weeks. I considered it, you know, I counted it all up, and it's not gonna work. And then it's also missing a couple of other sections or space that I like in the Hobonichi Weeks. So anyway, those are the blank pages. There are some informational pages in the back that I can't read. I am not a fan of informational pages in the back of any planner. I never reference that kind of stuff. Then it has about the author, and you can put your personal information, name, address, phone number, and that's it. That's this planner. And it's so, so pretty. I'll show you how it came. Oh my goodness. Like, here's the box. So, so gorgeous. This year's theme was Lost in Reverie. And I can't remember the cost of this. I mean, it's on the website. I'll link it below. But these actually were not that expensive for planners, and then shipping was okay too. I just remember thinking this was going to cost an arm and a leg, and it did not. So it had the pencil board in there, and it was nestled in here like that. So cute. And it had this, don't know what that is. And then a pamphlet that I cannot read, but beautiful nonetheless, beautiful like textured paper. And then this, which I thought was so cool. It's got a stitched binding, but this is a little booklet. It says Daily Breathe, Grow. And it basically is a sample of the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. And it's just blank, there's no grid, but I don't know, it's like a little test booklet so you can try out the paper, which I think is so pretty. And then it has a foiled elephant on there in the same foiling as this. And I was so attracted to this because this looks like those S's that you make when you're like, I don't know, when I was in elementary school and stuff. And I always loved it because, you know, it's the first letter of my name. So it came tucked like this, just so gorgeous. And I'll show you the B6, which is equally as beautiful. So let's zoom out. So here's the box for the B6. Now the B6 planner for this year is a day per page B6, which I'm not a B6 person, but aren't daily B6 planners kind of rare, like a day per page? So anyway, this has the same pamphlet right here. This one has a cute little whale on it. I guess they're numbered. Each planner's numbered. There's only a limited amount. And then it's got the little whale there in like silver foiling. And this is another Tomoe River paper little tester booklet. And here is the B6 planner. Now, I used this towards the beginning of the year and fell off of it. And I really, really wish that I had the capability to continue using this the way that I was, but c'est la vie. So this has foiling on it. It's almost like, it's silvery but rainbowy, kind of like holographic. Indulge in nostalgia. I mean, I used this to write the daily goings on of my family and myself. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I keep track of that in the passport now. I use a Travelers Company weekly dated insert, and I write a brief summary of everything that happened during the day concerning my family and myself. And I was doing it earlier this year in this chonker of a gorgeous planner, beautiful spine. This gets me every time. Probably that's why I want to go with Take a Note, because it at least has this beautiful exposed spine, but it's so thick because it's a page per day. This is laid out exactly the same as the A6, so I won't spend too much time on it. Index page, the preface spread, the 2 years at a glance, and then the full year with like for pre-planning or something. And both of them are like this. I don't know if you can see because it's so light, but let's focus. It has columns. This is not going to focus because it's so light, but there are columns like this and lines that go across. I mean, whatever, it's pretty standard. And then you have your Gantt chart for every month. So here's the beginning of January. All of the pages are numbered as well in here, all the way through. So in this particular one for the B6, there isn't an illustration here, but you do get the header page, and then it goes in to the monthly, and then you get all of your daily pages. So the months are in this one as well, are not clumped together in the front. They're spread throughout the book. So this is how I was using it. Oh, by the way, here is the pencil board that came with it. Landscape in the mist. I mean, it's just so pretty. And then I have some writing on here from when I was using it in here. But then you get the year at a glance, says today up at the top. Just gorgeous. So as you can see, I put a lot of decor in here, and I kind of tried to work in like some different type of lettering. This wasn't straight just writing. And this is the reason I fell off of this. So I would summarize what happened during the day. Sometimes I wrote a lot, depending on the time I had. Other times I literally just dropped in some really basic overview and added decor. And this was not sustainable given the way our year was going and how hectic it was. But man, if I could have continued this would have been a gorgeous keepsake. But as I said before, I switched into the passport size and just made my life much more easy than this demanded of me. So another monthly spread, and then into the daily pages. This has a really light grid as well. For some reason, the grid in this A6 size was harder for me to read than this B6 one. This one is slightly blue, and this one is cream, like a brown color. And maybe that has something to do with it, because this doesn't actually look any darker. So go figure. So that's this book. This whole rest of this thing is blank, and it makes me so sad. And then let's see, a few blank grid pages at the end, informational page, informational spreads, and then another about the author section. That's the same as the A6. And that's the end of that. So gorgeous planner again. And I was so hyped about doing this in here that I even made this, oh my gosh, this gorgeous cover for it. It's made to fit this perfectly, and it was a joy to bring out all the time. So perfectly thick and delicious, and it hurt to give this up. It certainly did. But sometimes things just don't work out, and you really just have to learn to let go, because the goal was to capture the memories of my family. That's always my goal when I'm journaling. And my life just dictated that I needed to be in a smaller size without all the extras of decor and hand lettering. And I needed to minimalize what was going on in my life. So that's that. And I do check back on the website every once in a while just to see if there's any updates. I will say for this year with these two planners, these came out extremely late. She went through a family tragedy in 2021, and these were not announced or released until pretty late in the year. And then I think I ordered in November and I didn't get them till well into January. And I have no idea if that's going to be the case this next year. I mean, I'm not even going to assume anything about it because there's just no information out. But I knew I wanted these if they became available. And because the price wasn't like too crazy for some gorgeous planners like these, I went ahead and got both of them without quite knowing what I was going to do with this one. I did already have the idea of doing a daily summary in this. That didn't work out, but now I'm in this one. So I'm glad that I'm at least using it and giving some love to it. So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. If you can get your hands on one of these planners, I can't recommend them enough. I think they're just absolutely stunning. And also with the B6, she can change the layout of this as well. It won't necessarily be a day per page planner either. So it's kind of a surprise what she ends up doing with these two sizes, if she does anything at all. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.